Hello Army, welcome back to my channel. Today we're uncovering something absolutely incredible about Jimin that has been hiding in plain sight for years, and honestly, when all the pieces finally came together, I was completely shocked. This isn't just another fun fact or trivial piece of information, this is something that fundamentally changes how we understand Jimin's entire journey and success. So buckle up, hit that like button right now, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on those notifications, and let's dive into the secret about Jimin that's finally been revealed. Okay, so let me start by saying that this secret has actually been there all along, but it's only recently that fans, industry professionals, and even other idols have started connecting all the dots and realizing the full extent of what's been happening. The secret I'm talking about is this: Jimin has been quietly and systematically revolutionizing male idol standards in K-pop for years, and he's been doing it so naturally and authentically that most people didn't even realize it was happening until we looked back and saw just how much has changed. Let me explain what I mean by breaking this down, because this is huge. When Jimin first debuted with BTS in 2013, the K-pop industry had very rigid and specific expectations for male idols. There were clear boxes that male idols were supposed to fit into. You had the tough, masculine rapper type. You had the pretty boy visual who was supposed to be perfect and untouchable. You had the main vocalist who was talented but often stayed in the background. These were the roles, these were the expectations, and stepping outside of them was considered risky and potentially career-damaging. But here's where Jimin's secret comes in. From the very beginning, he refused to fit into just one of these boxes, and more importantly, he did it in such a natural and authentic way that he made it acceptable, even desirable, for male idols to express themselves more freely. Let me give you specific examples of what I'm talking about, because this is where it gets really interesting and you start to see the pattern. First, let's talk about how Jimin completely changed what was acceptable in terms of masculine expression in K-pop. Before Jimin, male idols who showed softer, more delicate sides of themselves were often criticized or had their masculinity questioned. There was this pressure to always be tough, always be cool, always maintain this image of traditional masculinity. But Jimin came along and just existed authentically. He wasn't afraid to be soft and gentle, he wasn't afraid to express vulnerability, he wasn't afraid to wear delicate styling or express emotions openly. And the shocking part? Instead of being rejected for this, he became one of the most popular and respected idols in the industry. What's really mind-blowing about this is how it created a ripple effect throughout the entire K-pop industry. Once Jimin proved that male idols could express themselves in more diverse ways and still be successful, actually, be even more successful because of their authenticity, it opened doors for countless other male idols to do the same. If you look at male idol groups that debuted after BTS became successful, you can see a clear shift in how they're allowed to present themselves, the concepts they can do, the emotions they can express. That's Jimin's influence, and it's been happening so gradually that most people didn't realize it was a revolution. But the secret goes even deeper than just changing masculine expression norms. Here's something that industry insiders have started talking about more openly: Jimin has been setting new standards for what all-around idol excellence looks like, and he's been doing it by refusing to accept limitations on his abilities. When he debuted, his primary role was as a dancer in visual. But did he accept being pigeonholed into just that role? Absolutely not. He worked relentlessly on his vocals until he became recognized as one of BTS's strongest vocalists. He developed his stage presence until he became known as one of the most captivating performers in K-pop. He worked on his songwriting and artistry until he could release successful solo work. The secret here is that Jimin has been quietly proving that idols don't have to accept the limitations that the industry tries to place on them. If you're labeled as a dancer, that doesn't mean you can't also be an exceptional vocalist. If you're the visual, that doesn't mean you can't also be a serious artist and songwriter. Jimin has shown that with enough dedication and hard work, you can transcend whatever box the industry tries to put you in, and this realization has influenced how newer generations of idols approach their careers. Here's another shocking aspect of this secret that's only become clear recently: Jimin has been redefining what fan service and fan interaction means in K-pop. Traditionally, fan service in K-pop was very transactional and sometimes felt artificial. Idols would do and say certain things because they knew fans wanted it, not because it was genuine. But Jimin's approach has always been different. He's built his connection with fans on genuine emotional honesty and vulnerability. When he talks to fans, when he posts on social media, when he performs, there's this quality of real emotional investment and authenticity that goes beyond typical fan service. What's shocking about this is how it's changed fan expectations across the industry. Fans now expect and value authenticity and genuine emotional connection over perfectly polished but artificial interactions. They can tell the difference between someone who's going through the motions of fan service and someone who genuinely cares about and connects with their audience. Jimin set that standard, and now it's become the gold standard for idol-fan relationships throughout K-pop. Let's talk about another layer of this secret that people are only now fully appreciating: Jimin's influence on beauty standards and the concept of visual appeal in K-pop. When he first debuted, he didn't fit the traditional Korean beauty standards perfectly. His features were considered too soft, too delicate, not conventionally handsome in the way that typical male visuals were supposed to be. But instead of trying to change himself to fit those standards, he just existed confidently as himself. And you know what happened? The standards started changing to accommodate him. Suddenly, softer features, more delicate beauty, these things that weren't considered ideal for male idols before became not just acceptable but highly desirable. This is absolutely shocking when you think about it, one person being so authentically themselves that they actually shift entire beauty standards for an industry. But that's exactly what happened with Jimin. And the impact of this goes beyond just K-pop. You can see how Korean beauty standards in general have become more diverse and accepting of different types of attractiveness, and Jimin played a significant role in that cultural shift. Here's something else that's part of the secret: Jimin's work ethic and perfectionism have set a new standard for what professionalism means in K-pop. Stories about how hard Jimin works, how much he practices, how dedicated he is to perfecting every detail of his performances, these stories have become legendary in the industry. But the shocking part isn't just that he works hard, lots of idols work hard. The shocking part is that he's made this level of dedication and perfectionism the expected standard for top-tier idols. Other idols talk about feeling inspired or even pressured to work harder because of Jimin's example. Choreographers and producers have mentioned that working with Jimin raised their own standards for what they expect from idol performers. That's influence on a fundamental level. When you change what the industry considers normal and acceptable in terms of effort and quality, you've fundamentally shifted the landscape. Now let's address perhaps the most shocking part of this whole secret. Jimin has been doing all of this while battling his own insecurities and self-doubt. We've learned from interviews and behind-the-scenes content that throughout much of his career, Jimin struggled with feeling like he wasn't good enough, like he didn't deserve his success, like he was somehow fooling everyone. And yet, while dealing with these intense personal struggles, he was simultaneously revolutionizing industry standards and influencing countless other artists. That's the truly shocking revelation. All of these changes, all of this influence, all of these new standards that Jimin set, he did it while not even fully believing in himself. Imagine what that means. It means that his impact on the industry isn't coming from a place of ego or deliberate strategy. It's coming from pure authenticity, from just being genuinely himself and working hard to be the best artist he can be, even when he doubted himself. This secret also reveals something important about how real change happens in industries and culture. It's not always through loud declarations or dramatic rebellions. Sometimes the most profound changes happen quietly, through someone simply being authentically themselves and doing their work with excellence and integrity. That's what Jimin has been doing, and the cumulative effect of years of this authentic existence has been revolutionary. Industry professionals have started openly acknowledging this influence. Choreographers mention how Jimin changed their approach to creating choreography for male idols. Vocal coaches talk about how his style influenced what's considered desirable in male idol vocals. Fashion designers and stylists discuss how he expanded what's possible in male idol styling. This isn't speculation or fan bias, these are professionals in the industry acknowledging concrete influence. So there you have it, Army, the secret about Jimin that's finally been fully revealed. He's been quietly revolutionizing K-pop male idol standards for years across multiple dimensions: masculinity expression, all-around excellence, fan relationships, beauty standards, work ethic, and artistic authenticity. And the most shocking part? He did it all just by being genuinely himself and working hard to be the best artist he could be, even while doubting himself. That's not just impressive, that's genuinely revolutionary. Let me know in the comments if this changed your perspective on Jimin's impact, And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.